You are listening to an episode of The Faithful Sinners.
Welcome back to today's SINspiration. My name is Timothy Baker, and today I would like to talk about sleep and keeping sleep sacred. I mentioned yesterday how it is important we recover, and I also referenced briefly the impact sleep can actually have. We find that we are about 30% less productive when we are operating on an average of less than 6 hours of sleep a day. Now, this is a personal struggle for me. I sometimes in my life have felt that, geez, I don't really need more than a couple of hours of sleep and I can operate just fine, which may be true. I can get through, but it doesn't mean that I'm operating just fine. What I have understood is as I've gotten older, the value sleep really does have. So I've adopted some very structured routines around that because I have some very, very difficult challenges when it comes to trying to slow this thing called my mind down. Why I have challenges sleeping is I will lay down and my mind doesn't want to stop. So it takes some very purposeful, structured processes for me to be able to get the rest that I need. Part of that is having morning routine structure, having an evening routine structure, and having a sleep routine structure. I literally have a very specific regimen that I will walk through in order to get myself to sleep. And when those fail, because sometimes they do, because nothing's perfect, what I will find is that I will look around my room, and I learned this from a therapist, look around the room, absorb everything that's in that room, and then lay down, close my eyes, keep my extremities, separated, not hands crossed or legs crossed, to try to do everything to allow natural relaxation to flow. And as I have my eyes closed, I literally start to walk around my room in my head and identify everything. Picture what may be sitting on the counter, what may be hanging on the clothes hanger, or what may be sitting on my dresser. And I have yet to actually make it all the way around my room without falling asleep. So that's my backup process, but it's one that is definitely one that takes a lot of focused effort to make it work. But I mentioned sleep because, sleep is portrayed not just as a biological necessity, but as a spiritual blessing. Proverbs 3:24 says, when you lie down, you will not be afraid. When you lie down, your sleep will be sweet. And Psalm 4:8 says, in peace I will lie down and sleep, for you alone, Lord, make me dwell in safety. So the first one references peaceful sleep being a sign of God's protection. And the second refers to sleep being an act of faith, meaning that you're able to lie down in the trust of the protection of the Lord, regardless of your surroundings. We'll also look at how sleep is a spiritual peace, because it's a metaphor for spiritual peace and assurance. It's outlined in Philippians 4:6-7. Do not be anxious, and the peace of God will guard your hearts and your minds. So that means peace will lead to rest. So when you have that peace in your heart, peace throughout your day, because you're resting in the assurances of the Lord, that's when rest will come naturally for you. And then finally, healing through rest, because rest is a part of God's design for healing, as we talked about the other day with recovery. Psalm 147:3 says, he heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. So emotional recovery is deeply spiritual. We all have a lot of challenges that we go through each day. Emotional ones are probably some of the most difficult because they're all trapped up here and in here. And unfortunately, the only way we can resolve them is by bringing them up there. So I challenge you today that if you are struggling with feeling tired or just feeling emotionally drained, first off, get some sleep. Second, turn to God. Thank you very much for listening this morning, and I hope you have an amazing and blessed day. And please share this so we can all sin better together.
Thank you for listening to this episode of The Faithful Sinners. Make sure to follow us and like us on your favorite podcast or social media site, and also check us out at thefaithfulsinners.com.